everyone. It's the one and only Nina Capone, aka Jamila Laurie. Welcome to another episode of 10 Minutes to Talk on Industries Radio. I'm your host, and today we are diving into an exciting topic. I think a lot of my friends, clients, relatives has been waiting for me to talk about this. So let's get into it. Podcast versus the vlog. The big differences and monetizing audio versus video. So there has been a question posed on how do I make money and why do I choose podcasts over vlogging, video podcasts, as some would like to call them. The big differences and how to monetize both. I want to talk about both, okay? Whether you're a content creator or just curious about the digital media platforms, you're in the right place. So I don't want to wait. Y'all know we only got 10 minutes, so let's get started. First up, let's break down the basic differences between podcasts and vlogs. This is the big argument, and I wanted to take time to educate people on this. So here we are. A podcast is an audio program available on the internet, focusing on a wide range of topics from entertainment to education. Okay. Vlogs, on the other hand, are video blogs that often provide a visual, keyword visual, and personal experience, showcasing the creator's life, thoughts, and tutorials, or entertainment and or education. Okay, so those are the two differences in both. Okay, I think as we went through the pandemic, blah blah blah, so many people started to jump online and do their own shows, their own vlogs. They were referring to them as podcasts, so the industry ran with it. As a consultant, I came across trying to get a person's, what they told me, they had a podcast, some sponsorship, but they were not on a podcast platform where we could do what we needed to do on our end to go ahead and do the advertising marketing. For that, we learned that they only have a vlog or Instagram or YouTube. They were YouTubers, actually. So there are differences, and I kind of want to make sure that you understand if you're doing video, you're vlogging, because that's the traditional blog/vlog. Now, let's talk monetization, right? Starting with podcasts. Monetizing a podcast can come in various forms, such as sponsorships, advertisements, listener donations, crowdfunding, and so much more. Sponsorships that's the big one, right? That's where a company pay to have their products or services mentioned during your podcast hour. So the key to attracting sponsors is to have a solid listener base and a clear niche market. So when I say a solid listener base, I mean some statistics, some analytics showing who tunes into your show, how many listeners you're getting, and what is your niche market? Who are your listeners? So it's very important that you are collecting that information, which is why we always suggest getting on a platform where you can pull your analytics and use them to show your results, because it's super important, especially if you're asking someone for money. On the flip side, vlogs often rely on video platforms like YouTube for monetization. So you may not have to necessarily go and do as much work with a vlog. You can actually earn revenue through the platform. You can do sponsored content and even affiliate marketing. Now, you can do affiliate marketing with both, honestly. I've done it. But a strong, visually appealing content strategy, y'all, here I go with strategy, right? It's crucial here, okay? alongside consistent engagement with your viewers. You want to make sure that you're communicating with your viewers. Whether you have callers call in, or you're doing live interviews, or what have you. Excuse me. So, how can you succeed in both? Because if you talk to me, I'm going to tell you, you need to be doing both. The podcast is cool, but the visual is better, you should just be doing both so you can make more money, right? Focus on audio quality and content relevance. I say this so much that you want to talk about trending topics in the niche that you choose, okay? In the niche that you choose, you want to talk about trending topics. For me, I talk about business. This is a business. This is something that people talk to me about. This is something that people are constantly in my niche talking about. So that's why this is a huge topic for me. If, I can't talk fashion on my show because my listeners don't care about the fashion from me anyway. So to engage with your audience through social media, and you want to consider hosting like live events, Q&A sessions. This really gets people talking to you. You want them to talk to you. You want them to tell you, hey, I'm listening. Hey, I'm tuned in. You want to make sure that if you post something, there's a lot of engagement on that post. People got something to say. They just want to go there. They want to go there with you. Whether it's good or bad, they want to rebuttal what you said. They don't like what you said. They don't like how you said it. They don't like the topic that you're talking about. Hell, you could just be completely wrong about everything. And that's what we want. We want that engagement. And don't forget, if you're podcasting, there are podcast directories. Okay. Podcast directories are literally lists of places you can list your podcast to get heard. And for me, my analytics show every single podcast directory that I'm on and how and where they listen from, which is crucial for me and my station as a whole. Where are our listeners? Are our listeners based out of Philadelphia, our home base, or are they based out of Japan or China or Israel? So we want to make sure we can see where our listener base is. And, the times that they're on, what are they listening to? It's so much you can collect when you're on the right platform. So technology matters. Make sure your podcast is easy to find. Please, please, please don't create a crazy name where no one can spell it and find you. I'm in the streets radio. I try to pronounce it in the streets radio, INDA. For people, we are 10 minutes of talk, the number 10 minutes of talk. You can find us, but so it's not always easy. If I knew, what I know now, when I was creating my shows, then I probably would have came up with something much, much easier. Okay. So for my vloggers, video quality and editing are your bread and butter. Okay. For my people who are vlogging, if I always suggest pre-recorded, but if you're going live, that's something different. So, we can get into that another time. But for my vloggers that go back, your editing is your bread and butter. Okay. That's what's going to be your engagement. So invest in a good camera. Learn some basic editing skills to keep your content visually engaging. We have some amazing vloggers on industries.radio.com. Make sure you check them out. Particularly, I believe there's a food channel. You want to check her out. She's definitely has some good content, and I suggest taking a look and see what she's doing, and pretty much go from there. Let's see. So, but the key is to keep that content visually engaging. So, like podcasting, because there's a lot of similarities. Interaction is key. So, for my podcast, we do at times go live and do these 10 minutes to talk live, and we have callers call in, what have you. For my other podcast, the Respect the Hustle, those are live, interactive. The phones are lit. We're ready to go. We're talking to the people live. We want to hear their opinions in real time, especially when we have guests, and we want that interaction. So make sure you respond to comments. Consider collaborating with other creators to expand your audience. If you're not collaborating, you're missing out on audience diversity, okay? So now, the golden tip for both, okay? And I just said this, but I want to reiterate. Diversify your content and your platforms, okay? You want to be everywhere. Don't just say, oh, you can find me on Instagram. You want to be on 140 platforms. Honestly, I'm on a lot of platforms. And the reason being is you want to make sure they're synced so you can capture all of the analytics, but you want to be everywhere. You want to be everywhere. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, okay? And just expect yourself, to be a famous podcast by the end of the week with little to no marketing. It's not going to happen. For podcasters, consider creating a video version of your podcast for YouTube. So one of the cool things I actually do is turn this podcast into a video. So I don't have to show my face and all of those things, but we are on YouTube and people can listen on YouTube. So we are taking advantage of the video platform as well. And vloggers, think about launching an audio only version of your content for podcast platforms. Therefore, you're touching all bases. You're monetizing in every way possible. You want to catch a wider audience and maximize your monetization potential. If you're not, you're missing money. And if you know me, as a consultant, my favorite all-time line is stop leaving money on the table. So that's really key. That's the differences. That's where we are. That's where we got to get better at understanding, what we're creating, how we're creating it, and are we covering everything that we need to cover? Let's not forget the power of social media. Use platforms like Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Promote your content, engage with your audience, and even tease upcoming episodes or videos. So teasers are awesome. I'm horrible at doing teasers, but people know. They know I'm going to come out and do something. So because I pre-record, I try to go back and create my teasers right before my episodes come on, because I'm on a ton of programming in the back and I want to be everywhere. So, try to make sure that you're doing these things to get your audience. If you've been doing it as long as I have, then you kind of got a cult following. They know when you're up. They get they're signed up on your blog, your vlog, and your podcast. So they kind of get notifications when you're going to go on or where your next show is coming up, what have you. So, or they just know how to find your platform, get to you, and make sure that they're listening. So social media can be a powerful tool to drive traffic to your podcast or vlog and create an actual community around your brand. So that's one of the biggest things I want you guys to walk away with, saying, hey, I'm a brand. I want a specific community around my brand to help me better monetize what I'm doing, because there are supporters out here who do believe in you and what you do. Before we wrap up, remember this. Consistency is key. I made that sound really deep, didn't I? Consistency is key. So whether you're podcasting or vlogging, maintaining a regular posting schedule is vital to keep your audience engaged and attract new listeners or viewers. And when I say consistency, I do not mean try to do this every single day if you cannot afford that kind of time. Time is money. Don't waste it. So if you're pre-recording and you can record 2 episodes in a day, I personally do 2 episodes in a day, and I post them, my shows, only weekly. So every Monday we come on, you're going to get a fresh new episode. Okay. So it's key that you have your content created, edited, and ready to go. Okay. Also, Always be open to feedback and willing to adapt your content strategy to meet the evolving interests of your audience. So if your audience are asking questions or they want to know about something, or like this particular topic here, I was asked to do this topic. I was asked to talk about it from somebody who said, I'm not coming into your office or anything. Can you just explain it in a podcast? And I said, sure, why not? Okay, so it's very important that you listen to your listeners, your audience, your community, and make content that resonates with them, content that they want to hear about, content that makes sense to them. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So there you have it, a quick dive into the world of podcasting versus vlogging, and how to make the most out of both. Whether you're into the art of sound or power of video, there is a space for you in the digital content universe. Thanks for tuning in to 10 Minutes to Talk on Industries Radio. I am Nina Capone. And until next time, keep creating, keep innovating, and keep sharing your stories with the world, because we want to hear.